Dṛśyante panchabhutani ye cha lokaschaturdaśa samudra sarito deva rakshasa rishayastata. That which is seen, the 5 elements, the 14 worlds, the oceans, the mountains, the demons, and in the same way the sages, are my glorious manifestations. Dṛśyante yani chanyani stavarani charani cha Gandharva pramata naga sarve te madvibhutaya. And others that are seen, like the unmoving trees and the moving creatures, the Gandharvas, the attendants of Śiva, the Nāgas, all these are my glorious manifestations. Pura Brahmādayo deva drashtu kama mama kritim Maṅdarang prayayu sarve mama priyaratam girim. In ancient days, the gods like Brahmā, desirous to see my personal form, churned as a team the mountain Maṅdara, the dearest to me. Stutva pranjalayo deva Maṅdara puratastita Tandrishtvātamaya devan lila kulita chetasaha Tesham aparitam jnanam brahmadinam divaukasam. The gods, standing in front of me, praised me with folded palms. On seeing them thus, the gods were deluded by me in fun, and the intelligence of Brahmā and other celestial beings was obscured. Atate parita jnana mamahu ko bhavaniti ata bruvamahang devan ahameva puratanaha. Remaining ignorant, they repeatedly asked me, "Who are you?" Then I told the gods, "I am the primordial being." Namaste. So Śiva is the 5 elements, or rather, they are a manifestation of him. If you have trouble with this 5-element theory, let's take a quick look at it. The beach is the perfect place to investigate and experience the 5 elements. First, we have earth, then water, the air, and then fire. And what about space? We find plenty of space at the beach. It's the one place where all the 5 elements come together. I think that's why people like it so much. Earth, water, fire, air, and space. So the 5 elements and everything made of them are all Shiva's manifestations. That's just the way it is. He is the source, although he is not in those things because they're illusory. Why? Because they're temporary. This whole world, this whole universe, is only manifest for a limited amount of time. Yes, it might be a very long time compared to our human lives, but still, it has a beginning and an end. We are assured of this over and over again in the scriptures, and that's why the material world is Maya. So Śiva is all of these things because he is the cause of them, not that he is in them or limited by them in any way. He is beyond all. He's transcendental. He's the absolute. And the form of Shiva, the name of Shiva, the many, many stories about him and so on, these are simply symbol, metaphor, if you will, for Brahman. Not that Shiva is limited to any of these forms. He's not. And he can generate unlimited new forms. But the thing about all of these forms is that they're temporary. We have to get this distinction down, cold, so that we don't put our trust in any of these manifestations. Shiva is a joker. He's a great joker. He's not just a little joker, little April Fool's joke. No. He goes big style, The whole universe to him is just a joke. And again, it's because it's temporary. He is that which is permanent, unchanging. So to know Shiva is to know that unchanging, even if it's through a metaphor, such as the Shiva form or name or any of his 1,000 names. We just did a video on that. You should hear it. In fact, when we hear these 1,000 names of Shiva, we get benefits even without trying. This is one of the most amazing things. And this is the thing that drives the whole part of the Vedas dealing with sadhana. The Vedas are divided into 3 main parts. The karma kanda, which is what should be done and what should not be done, especially religious rituals. The upasana kanda, which deals with sadhana and the performance of personal spiritual activities for elevation to the divine. And finally, there's the jnana kanda. Although the word jnana is translated as knowledge, it's not knowledge in the usual sense. In other words, facts and figures, understandings that can be represented by symbols and metaphors. No, it's not a theory. It's an experience. Jnana means realized knowledge. If we understand what is Shiva, what is this world, what am I, who am I, and actually realize it in practice as a relationship, as an experience, then we have jnana. Jnana is not words, and it's not even understandings or thoughts. It's direct experience of the transcendental. Now, how is it possible that we can have this experience? Because we are of the same quality as Shiva. We are actually Brahman, just covered by this upadhi. Upadhi means a limiting adjunct. An adjunct is something that's not part of the original thing. And limiting means that it limits our being to a certain form, a name, a particular body and mind. So we think of ourselves as this body, as this mind, as the activities of the body and mind, and so on, the qualities, etc. But actually, this is not the self. The self is the one who experiences the body, mind, the world, phenomena, activities, qualities, and so forth. We went over this in our series on Dṛśyante, which means discriminating between the seer and the seen. So Shiva references that in these shlokas by talking about that which is seen, making the distinction between the seer and the seen. But this is fundamental. This is very important. Our ignorance derives from the fact that we identify the seer with the seen. We think that I am this body, and what happens to the body happens to me. no, no. We are the watcher. We are the witness. We are the seer, the drik. And the body, the mind, the senses, the phenomena they reveal, and so on, is the seen, the drishya. And he uses these words in these shlokas, pointing out that he is perfectly cognizant of the philosophy as well. So Shiva is infinitely wise. He knows everything. He knows everyone. He designed and made us. He is the one who created us. He's the Pitamaha, the great father, the original, from which all others are descended. Even Vishnu, Brahmā, the other demigods, and so on, are like his children. And he likes to play with them. Huh? Did you ever read Calvin and Hobbes? The father, sometimes the father, his father is a lawyer and very clever. And so sometimes his father used to tell him wild stories, right? And present it as a fact. So similarly, Shiva, sometimes that's what he does. He uses his Maya to bewilder us. And we're thinking, oh, this is real, this is a fact. But no, he's joking with us. You have to understand Shiva's personality. To him, this whole universe is just a big joke. That's because his power, his knowledge is unlimited. Whereas ours is very, straightly limited by the limits of our upadhis. Now, the form and name of Shiva and Shakti and so on, the other gods, Rudra, Vishnu, etc., are also covered by upadhis. And this is called the Ishatvam Upadhi, the upadhi or the identity of being God. The problem is we are limited by our upadhis, but he is not, because his power extends beyond this universe. And actually, so does ours. If we realize ourself, if we realize truly who we are, then we can overcome the limitations of our upadhis and see the reality as it really is. This is the summum bonum of self-realization. Aum Tat Sat. Aum Shakti Aum. Aum Namah Shivaya.